feel it? The shift in the air, Maybe it started with a notification on your phone before you even got out of bed, or a letter in the mail, or just a quiet, sinking feeling that something is wrong. Trouble has a way of finding us. It arrives uninvited. It stands at the door, and it demands to be let in. And when it comes, our first instinct is to shrink back, to make ourselves small, to hide. And I get it. We feel fragile. We feel unprotected, like a small boat caught in a rising tide. We look at the problem, and it looks like a mountain. We look at our own strength, and it looks like dust. Fear whispers that we are alone. Anxiety whispers that this is the end, and the weariness sets in. It's that sheer exhaustion of trying to hold everything together when your world feels like it is falling apart. But right here, in the middle of the rising wind, there is another voice. It is not a voice of panic. It is a voice of authority. It is the voice of James, the brother of Jesus. He speaks to us across the centuries. He speaks to the timid parts of our hearts. Listen to what he says in James chapter 1. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Joy? You might be thinking, how can I find joy when the waves are crashing? How can I consider it an opportunity when it feels like a tragedy? It feels counterintuitive. It feels impossible. Our hearts want to reject it. We want the trouble to stop. We want the pain to leave. We don't want a lesson. We want relief. But James invites us to look deeper. He invites us to see the storm not as a punishment, but as a process. He says, "For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow." The testing is not to break you. The testing is to build you. Think of a muscle that must be stretched to become strong. Think of gold that must pass through the fire, not to be destroyed, but to be refined, to become pure. James continues, "So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing." This is the promise. The trouble you are facing today, the difficulty that kept you awake last night, it is not empty suffering. It is doing something. It is producing something. It is carving out a capacity in your soul to hold more of God. It is producing endurance. It is forging a faith that is steady, a faith that does not need the sun to shine in order to believe. But, and here is the honest truth, we cannot do this on our own. We cannot just decide to be joyful. We cannot will ourselves to endure. Our shoulders are not broad enough to carry the weight of this testing alone. If we try to face this storm in our own strength, we will break. We will become bitter instead of better. We will become hard instead of whole. We need help. We need a strength that is not our own. And this is where the invitation of Jesus meets the challenge of James. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus sees our struggle. He sees us trying to carry the heavy load of our own problems. He sees us straining, trying to figure it out, trying to fix it, trying to survive. And he offers us a divine exchange. He says, Come to me, all you who are weary, all you who are burdened by this trouble, and I will give you rest. He does not say, I will make the trouble disappear instantly. He says, I will give you rest in the middle of it. He says, take my yoke upon you. You know, we are often wearing the wrong yoke. We are wearing the yoke of fear. The yoke that says, I have to control this. I have to solve this. If I don't worry about it, who will? That yoke is heavy. It rubs our souls raw. It exhausts us. Jesus invites you right now, in the quiet of this morning, to take that yoke off. Lay down the yoke of fear. Lay down the yoke of, why is this happening? Lay down the yoke of, I can't handle this, and instead, step into his yoke. The yoke of trust, the yoke of endurance. When you are yoked with Jesus, you are not pulling the load alone. He is bearing the weight. He is setting the pace. He is walking right beside you through the testing. The joy that James talks about, it is not a happiness about the pain. It is the deep, settled joy of knowing who is walking with you. It is the joy of knowing that because he is with you, this trial will not waste you. It will refine you. So before we go any further, let us accept the first invitation. Let us come. Bring your trouble to him. Bring the thing that scares you. Bring the situation that feels out of control. Do not try to hide it. Do not try to paint over it with a fake smile. Bring the raw, honest weight of it and hand it to him. Exchange your panic for his presence. Exchange your trembling for his trust. You are not helpless. You are not powerless, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. You are held. You are being built. You are being prepared. Come and take his yoke and let the process of joy begin. So we have come. We have brought the raw weight of our trouble to him. We have stepped into the yoke of endurance. But now comes the second challenge. And honestly, it is often harder than the first. It is the challenge of the next morning and the morning after that. When the situation hasn't changed yet. When the storm is still raging outside the window and the questions begin to rise. You know the ones. They start with, why? Why is this happening to me? Why did God allow this? How did I get here? Our minds are desperate for answers. We want to rationalize. We want to connect the dots. We feel that if we could just understand the reason, then we could handle the pain. And I get it. We spend so much energy, so much precious strength, searching for an explanation. We stay up until 2 a.m., scrolling through forums, Googling symptoms, replaying conversations in our heads, trying to solve the puzzle of our suffering. But this is where we get exhausted. This is where our faith begins to waver, because we are trying to fit an infinite God into our finite logic. And this leads us to the second invitation, the invitation to stay. To stay means to anchor your mind. But what do we anchor it to? We usually anchor our minds to our own understanding. We lean on our own logic. And when the logic breaks down, we break down. But the scripture offers us a different anchor, a rock that does not move. Listen to the voice of God, speaking through the prophet Isaiah in chapter 55. It is a gentle rebuke, but it is also a massive comfort. He says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways." Think about that distance. As the heavens are higher than the earth, that is the difference between your vantage point and his. You see the immediate problem. You see the pain of the moment. You see the wall in front of you. But God, he sees the past, he sees the present, and he sees the future, all at once. He sees the trap the enemy set for you. He sees the character he is forging in you. He sees the deliverance he has already prepared for you. We cannot expect to understand the ways of an all-seeing God with our limited sight. It's like trying to fit the ocean into a coffee cup. It just won't fit. So the invitation to stay is an invitation to stop leaning on the wrong thing. Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, gave us this instruction in Proverbs chapter 3. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." Lean not. Imagine a man trying to lean on a broken walking stick. When the weight comes, the stick snaps, and he falls. Your understanding, your ability to figure it out, is a broken stick. It cannot support the weight of this trial. If you try to rationalize why you are in this fire, you will burn out. If you try to calculate exactly when God will rescue you, you will lose hope. So what do we do instead? We trust in the Lord with all your heart. We anchor our minds, not on the plan, but on the person. We stop asking for explanations. The old script reminds us of Abraham. When God asked him to sacrifice Isaac, Abraham did not spend his energy arguing. He did not spend his night trying to rationalize the impossible command. He anchored his mind on one thing: God is faithful. That was enough. When Paul and Silas were beaten and thrown into prison, deep in the dungeon, in the middle of the night, they did not hold a committee meeting to figure out why God let this happen. They did not waste their breath complaining about the injustice. They anchored their minds on who God was, and they sang. They sang hymns to God in the dark, without an answer, without an explanation. This is what it means to stay. It means looking at your problem and then looking at your God and deciding that God is bigger. It means making a decision right now that God does not owe you an explanation. He only owes you his presence, and he has given it. It's hard to admit, but sometimes faith means walking with God without knowing where you are going. It means trusting him in the dark. Faith is comfortable with mystery. Faith is comfortable being out of control because it knows who is in control. So take a deep breath. Release the need to know why. Release the need to know when. Let it go. Stop leaning on your own understanding It is too weak to hold you. Lean your full weight, all your fear, all your confusion on the character of God. He is good. He is loving. He is faithful. And He is here. Stay there. Stay in that trust. Stay in that surrender. And watch as the peace that passes understanding begins to guard your heart. We have come to Him with our heavy burden. We have anchored our minds on His character. But now we face the third invitation. And honestly, for many of us, this is the most terrifying one. It is the invitation to be still. Why is this so hard? Because being still feels like doing nothing. And when we are in trouble, every instinct in our body screams at us to do something. We want to fix it. We want to manipulate the outcome. We want to make the calls. We want to force the doors open. And I get it. We are addicted to control. We try to orchestrate every detail of our lives. We have the 5-year plan. We have the insurance policies. We have the retirement accounts. We build our little kingdoms of safety. But the old script reminded us of a humble, hard truth. We can build magnificent buildings, but we must still bow to the power of a tornado. We can eat organic and run every morning, but illness can still knock on the door. These moments, when the market crashes, when the diagnosis comes, when the relationship ends, they remind us of the one thing we try so hard to forget. We are not in control, and we never were. The illusion of control is the noise that keeps us awake. It is the frantic energy of trying to be God in our own lives. And into this chaos, God speaks 2 words: be still. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. That phrase, be still, in the original Hebrew, it does not just mean be quiet. It means cease striving. It means drop your hands. It means let go of the steering wheel. It is the deliberate decision to stop trying to be the savior of your own life. There is a profound story in Genesis 22. God asked Abraham to do the unthinkable, to take his son, his only son, Isaac, whom he loved, and sacrifice him on a mountain. Just imagine the noise that could have been in Abraham's heart, the panic, the questions, the arguments he could have made. God, you promised me this son. God, this isn't fair. God, I have a better plan. But when you read the text, you are struck by the silence, the stillness. Abraham did not spend his energy pleading with God. He did not scream at the sky. He did not try to negotiate a different outcome. He rose early in the morning. He saddled his donkey, and he walked. He walked for 3 days toward that mountain. 3 days of not knowing. 3 days of having absolutely no control over the outcome. How did he do it? How did he keep putting one foot in front of the other? The book of Hebrews tells us the secret. He reasoned that God could even raise the dead. He didn't know how God would do it. He just knew that God would do it. This is the essence of being still. It is not passivity. It is a massive act of trust. It is looking at your situation, looking at the things you cannot control, and saying, I do not know the way out, but I know the waymaker. Faith, as we learned, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. If you can see the answer, it is not faith. If you can explain exactly how it will work out, it is not faith. If you can control it, it is not faith. Faith enables us to be comfortably out of control. Think about that phrase, comfortably out of control. It means you can sleep in the boat while the storm rages. Not because you can stop the wind, but because you know the one who can. It means you can stop refreshing your email every 30 seconds. It means you can stop rehearsing the argument in your head while you drive. It means you can turn off the news. You can be still. You can create a space of silence in your soul because you have realized that your worrying does not add a single hour to your life. It does not change the outcome. It only steals your peace. So today, I invite you to practice this stillness. Find a solitary place. Maybe it is in your car before you walk into the office. Maybe it is a quiet corner of your room. Sit there and consciously, physically, open your hands. Drop the illusion of control. Drop the need to fix it. Drop the need to understand it. And in that quiet space, listen, not for the answer to your problem, but for the presence of your Father. He is saying, I am God. I am God, and you are not. And that is a good thing. You can rest. The universe is in safe hands. Your life is in safe hands. Be still and let Him be God. We have come to Him. We have stayed our minds on His character. We have learned to be still and drop the illusion of control. But there is one final invitation. It is the secret to living this way, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. It is the invitation to abide. The old script gave us a profound definition of faith. It said that faith is often walking with God without knowing. And I know how hard that is. We hate not knowing. We want the map. We want the 5-year plan. We want the GPS to show us exactly where the turn is and what time we will arrive. But abiding is different. Abiding is the daily choice to stay close to the shepherd, even when the valley is dark, even when you can't see the next step. It is saying, Lord, I do not know where this path leads, but I know who is leading me. In the 100K script, we were reminded of a simple truth. Faith is doing your part and trusting God to do His part. Your part is not to figure it out. Your part is not to manipulate the outcome. Your part is simply to abide, to stand on His word, to remain in His love. And what is His part? His part is to handle the impossible. His part is to work all things together for your good. And we know He can do it because we have the ultimate assurance. The Apostle Paul gives us this anchor in Romans chapter 8. It is the bedrock of our peace. He asks, if God is for us, who can be against us? Just let that sink in. The Creator of the stars, the one who sees the end from the beginning, He is for you. And I know the world often feels like it is against you. The economy feels against you. The news feels against you. Sometimes even your own thoughts feel against you. But if God is for you, then what can the storm really do? Paul continues, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also graciously give us all things?" This is why we can abide. We are not abiding in a vacuum. We are abiding in the love of a Father who has already given everything for us. We are safe. Even in the trouble, we are safe. As the psalmist writes in Psalm 73, "Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel." This is the picture of abiding. It is like a child holding a father's hand in a crowded street. The child doesn't need to know the map. The child doesn't need to worry about the destination. The child just needs to hold on. "Whom have I in heaven but you? And there is nothing on earth that I desire besides you." When we reach this place, when our hearts truly say this, the fear loses its power. The anxiety fades because we realize we have the one thing that matters. We have Him, and He has us. And as the old script declared, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." So today, you are invited to stop striving. Stop trying to control the uncontrollable and simply abide. Stay close. Hold His hand and let Him be the strength of your heart. We have walked this journey together, from the heaviness of fear to the lightness of trust. First, we learned to come, to trade our heavy yoke of panic for His gentle yoke of endurance. Second, we learned to stay, to anchor our minds not on our own understanding, but on the character of a faithful God. Third, we learned to be still, to drop the illusion of control, and to find peace in the mystery. And finally, we learned to abide, to walk hand in hand with God, trusting that if He is for us, nothing can stand against us. You may still be in the middle of the trouble. The storm may not be over yet, but you are different. You are anchored, you are held, and you are comfortably out of control, because you are in the hands of the King. Which of these 4 invitations is God speaking to you today? Is it the call to come and rest? The call to stay your mind on Him? The call to be still and trust? Or the call to simply abide in His love? Let us know in the comments below. Your story helps others know they are not alone. And if this time of quiet has helped you find strength, please subscribe and share this message. You never know who in your life is facing a mountain today and needs to be reminded that God is for them. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and give you peace.